happens with the Suns this summer, Wendy?
Yeah, well, they're going to trade him, and he knows that, and like he's actually given them. You know, there's been a couple of opportunities where he could have criticized them for trying to trade him. He has not done that.
Kevin Durant got shopped around this trade deadline. I am all but certain this team is going to blow up in the offseason. This roster construction was unbelievably flawed from the very inception of Kevin Durant even being there.
If you're not aware, the Suns are a complete disaster right now. If the play-in tournament started today, they wouldn't even be in it. That's how low things have gotten for Phoenix, and to me, this KD era with the Suns has reached its end, and I guarantee he will be traded this offseason. To me, KD being traded this offseason is basically a certainty because let's not forget, so quickly the Suns tried to move him at the trade deadline. There was just rumors coming out of nowhere saying a KD trade could happen, and there was multiple teams sending out offers.
Once Durant made it clear that he did not want a reunion, he did not want to go back to the Warriors, the organization backed away. Multiple new teams, though, did make some offers this week, and that included the Minnesota Timberwolves and the Miami Heat. Obviously, we know the relationship between Kevin Durant and Anthony Edwards.
But if for some reason you don't believe Shams, KD said it himself that he had no interest in going to the Warriors, and he explained why on Draymond Green's podcast a few days ago.
But as far as the Warriors, I just didn't think it was, and then I didn't want to move. And then as a player like me, I cost a lot. Me going into your team is going to make it's going to be a whole new era of your team when I get to your team. You know what I'm saying? So, and that's a lot of work.
The Suns already tried to trade Kevin Durant, but he did not request a trade or hint he was going to. The Suns did this on their own volition.
Moving mid-season is one thing. Moving in the summer is maybe something else.
You got to ask front office about that. I never planned on leaving or moving Phoenix, getting traded. I didn't ask for a trade from Phoenix. But obviously, when you pay so much for a team and we're not playing up to our expectation, and somebody has to go, so.
But I understand why they did it, because you also have to factor in after this season, KD will be on the last year of his contract. Yes, KD is still a top 10 player in the league and has a game that will most likely let him age gracefully, but he probably only has 2 or 3 more years left of still playing at this current level. So, is it worth it for the Suns to give him a $50+ million contract extension with a team that has shown they are nowhere close to being a contender and probably never will?
Hell no!
Trading Kevin Durant this offseason makes a lot of sense because if the Suns wait until the deadline next year, they will not get as much in return. Now, before we get into the rest of the video, I would appreciate it if you could like this video as it helps the video perform better in the YouTube algorithm, and subscribe to the channel. I would gladly appreciate it. Plus, like I mentioned earlier, the Suns were already shopping KD around at this deadline, so it's clear they don't want to re-sign him. And KD knows that too. That's why he left what his future is in Phoenix so ominous on the same Draymond Green podcast episode.
Do you want your career to end in Phoenix?
Man, I want my career to end on my terms. That's the only thing.
Bingo.
That's the only thing I'm worried about.
The last reason I believe KD will be traded this offseason is the Suns don't own their first-round pick outright until 2032. Most of their first-round picks for the next 7 years are wrapped up in protections, and their 2031 first-round pick is with the Jazz unprotected, which they traded just to give themselves more picks to work with now, and they had to use one of those picks to get Nurkic off the team. Phoenix has exhausted every asset they had to build this team, and what has it got them?
Nothing! Absolutely nothing!
Despite KD's age, a lot of teams will still be interested in trading for him, seeing him as the player they need to become legit contenders. Like the Grizzlies, who have been star hunting for the better part of a year now, most likely see Kevin Durant as their final piece, giving them a guy who can majorly boost their half-court offense come playoff time, which has been their biggest weakness in the playoffs. They can create a trade package of intriguing young players and draft capital that Phoenix would be interested in. The Rockets are clearly in the position to make a move for a star this summer. They have some young players with promise they can trade to the Suns, while more importantly being able to give Phoenix some of their first round picks back, and while the Rockets and their fans are hoping they can trade for Devin Booker. I don't know if that will happen, but after most likely being a first round exit because of their half-court offense limitations, they can see KD as the guy to pair next to Sengun and Amen Thompson to make themselves real players in the West. Plus, with having some control of the Suns' first round picks, they might be able to get KD for a lower price than other teams would have to pay. When talking about players of Kevin Durant's caliber being traded, usually we're more so guessing that it will happen. But it's clear to all of us the writing is on the wall in the Suns, and Kevin Durant know his time here is over, so when KD gets traded this offseason, I won't be shocked. I appreciate you watching the video. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe. Let me know in the comments, how confident are you that Kevin Durant gets traded this offseason? See y'all in the next one.